I mean,
you can't just be giving sainthoods out.
I'm guessing they didn't just give it out. She sort of did a lot of fucking
Who gives that out?
Do you know one of the things you have to do to be given a sainthood?
Die.
Commit a miracle.
Yeah.
Oh, so
commit a miracle like it's a crime. Commit you, sir. Committed a miracle.
Does that mean Sir Alex Ferguson is a saint?
Yeah, Saint Alex Ferguson. That's what people call him. Right, go on.
Nice.
Nicely done.
You like that? Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. I am here with the master debaters, Jay, Joe. We're back. No, we're not back because I can hear Taylor
Is it
Swift.
fucking cartoon corner over there? Cam, turn your cartoons off. We're doing a video. Before watching Nickelodeon on his little iPad, eating a petit fillet like a baby. What are you watching TikTok?
Have you smoked one, bro?
Look at him. You look so cheesed
There's a kite over there, man.
Right, come on. I was like, what can I hear here?
I thought it was
you
Taylor
watching
Swift.
Nickelodeon on your laptop. Yes, come on.
Drake and Josh is shit, bro. You're shit. Like Mason Mount and Frank
Oh
Lampard,
my God, let's
fucking
not do
freak.
this again. I had to put my headphones on last time. Go on.
Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am joined by the master debaters, also known as Joe, Jay, and when you add me in the mix, we are the master debaters.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, lads?
Good, man. Very good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really well, thank you.
This is the first time we've got together on this channel since we've been top of the league, yo.
Yeah.
How good does it feel?
Amazing, man. Especially after not a great result at Anfield, but after the game at Anfield, still being top. I'll settle for that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and we were the ones that should have won it. We had the best chances. We had the two biggest opportunities to win the game. I think we could have played another game and Liverpool wouldn't have scored. I know they had a bit of like half flicks here and there and passes that nearly went through and some tame shots, and Thiago had that one that De Gea didn't even have to leave the ground to save. Like, they just didn't do much. I know they had a lot of the ball, but Klopp and all that lot after the game acting like, well, we had loads of the ball, so therefore we should have won. Well, we had all the good chances, and they didn't look like scoring to me.
Weren't Alisson like man of the match?
Yeah.
Did he get the Sky Sports man?
Yeah, I think so. He was on the app anyway. So what's that tell you?
He did make some in my head, Luke Shaw was man of the match for the game.
Yeah,
and then that 5-minute period, I was like, he's man of the match. Because he's just earned you a point. Like, you had in like 5 minutes, you had Pogba's chance, Bruno's chance, and Rashford running through on goal and not slipping in Cavani. And you had all that, and it was like, we should have. That was a point. And if you see when Sky Sports, so when I go home, I watch the game back, because when we watch it without volume, it's really weird. And then I like to watch the interviews and see everything after. And when you see Ollie, he waits for everyone to walk off the pitch, shakes their hand or whatever. And then as he's walking off himself, he puts his head back and he goes, oh. Like, you can tell he knew we missed an opportunity there. And that was like the feeling I had coming out of it. And I kind of had to slap myself and say, 3 weeks ago, you were hoping to go to Anfield, win, just to go 1 point clear of them, or to be 2 points behind them. So it's been a good turnaround, and we can't get too ahead of ourselves, can we?
No. Yeah, the improvement is massive. And where we've come from, even at the start of the season, what was it? We were like 15th after 5 games or something ridiculous, wasn't it? So where we were then to where we are now, like I said, you never would have predicted that for the season. You would have hoped on some improvement from last season and hoped that, I think this time last year we were 30 points behind Liverpool or thereabouts.
After the fixture against them, we were.
Which I think was like the 20th game or something. So, not too dissimilar. You would have hoped to have, instead of being 30 points behind them, let's see if we can be 10 points behind them. Maybe 50, 15 points behind them wouldn't be great, but it's an improvement. You wouldn't expect the swing to be 33 points the other way. So I know obviously a lot of that is because Liverpool have dropped points.
Well, half of it is because they've dropped points, and like half of it is because
we've got a lot more
points.
points as well. So yeah, it's amazing the improvement that we've seen and the continued improvement that we've seen now for essentially 12 months of being the best team in the league points wise. So yeah, it's incredible, really.
It's mad, isn't it? Because Klopp tries to control the narrative and make it like, oh, they were unlucky and. They had all the ball, and then sometimes some United fans will buy into it a little bit. They're like, "Oh, you know what? We shouldn't have gone into the game like that, and we sat back too much." And I get that, but end of the day, we're still top of the league. They needed the win. They've taken 3 points out of the last possible 12. They're the ones that are having issues. Do you know what I mean? We're critical of Martial and Rashford. Their strikers can't score for toffee. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, they might look at us and go, oh, you're not great, or whatever, but we're doing a lot better than they are, and they're the defending champions who finished the season 33 points above us. Do you know what I mean? So when you put it in perspective, there's I'm not going to get over the moon about a 0-0 at Anfield, but on the whole of it, it's a positive result. Where we are at the moment is good.
I like that we've had a few clean sheets recently as well.
Yeah, that's
Wolves,
a good point.
Tight victories have been good. Even the 2-1 against Villa.
Yeah.
Like we conceded, scored straight away. I know it was a penalty, but we came back and scored straight away. And the point that you were just making about people complaining yesterday, I get it. There's always going to be people that aren't happy with certain things. That's cool. That's fine. That's what football's about and why we do this. But like, I felt the first half, the problem wasn't that we sat back. The problem was that we didn't do well with the ball. So whenever we were playing the ball out, it wouldn't stick. Fred, McTominay, they weren't making their passes. They weren't completing their passes. So we never were able to build up any sort of attack. If you look at Marcus Rashford, and I know everyone's talking about where he should have passed the ball, but in the first half, there was a couple of opportunities where people should have passed him the ball. Either they should have passed it to him or they should have passed it earlier, and it was mistimed, or he'd just stray offside or something like. I think he was offside like 6-7 times.
Yeah,
in the first
7
half.
times I think in the first half.
So it wasn't that we were sitting back hoping for the best against them in the first half. It was that we weren't actually playing well, and I think because they came out pressing so well, they caught us off guard a little bit. We were rushed, but once we settled into the game, I thought we were a better team, especially in the second half.
I completely agree, and I think tactically, Ollie got it right. Those tactics, you mentioned it earlier. David De Gea had one save from 30 yards out where he could have, he palmed it. He could have caught it, really. He should have caught it. That was it. Alisson's either man of the match or contender for man of the match, whatever it is. So in terms of like chances, I mean, those were very similar tactics to what Ollie did at the Etihad last season, if you remember, where we just countered. And yet the difference was we scored those chances. Do you know what I mean? Whereas yesterday we didn't take
it.
One of
theme this season, I think. We're sitting back. I think tactically playing very well against the bigger teams, but not scoring our chances. It's been almost. I wouldn't say it's worrying yet, because obviously 0-0 at Liverpool's not a worrying result. But the trend of Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG at home, and then now this game where we sit back. We did it. Leipzig away was one as well. We sit back a little bit, and then on the counter attack. In those sorts of games, when you're sitting back for a full game against a big team who is also good defensively, let's not forget, you're only going to get 3 or 4 good chances in that game, if that.
You were saying that before the game, where you were saying if we get like 2 or 3 chances, we can't be doing what we did against Southampton or whatever, or Everton, where we missed about 4.
Yeah, but because
and
we create 10.
Yeah, we scored 3. Whereas in this game, you called it, to be fair to you, you were saying it, and it sort of came to pass because we had 3 chances. At least one of them probably we should have got a goal from. I think the problem with them is, and I'm not into my XG, you know I'm not. I don't think any of them were sitters.
I don't think they were sitters.
I think the one with Marcus is going through with Cavani, yes, he should have played him in. I think the one with Paul Pogba, maybe he should have made it a little bit too easy for the keeper, but I think it was a bit of a snapshot, and he got a lot of power on it. He got a corner out of it, even though it was straight at him.
His problem was his first touch was too good.
You were saying this earlier.
So he sat the ball up for him.
Right, okay.
On the volley, and it looked perfect, like, amazing, what a touch. But really, if he keeps that ball down, he can hit it up.
Yeah.
When it's on the volley and you're trying to hit it up,
it's going to end up in the fucking Rose head.
When you look
remember
at
Rooney's at the same end where he hits it up into the net, and the keep. That's the kind of shot he needed. Bruno's one as well. Like, players go to hit that low, hard through the keeper's legs. He didn't really hit it hard, but he hit it low, got it on target. You think?
I don't look at that and go, "Oh, what you doing there, Bruno?" No. I think he's got it on target. He opened up his body. He did the right things. It was, he sort of.
Are you concerned by his form,
Bruno's? No, not really.
Do you know one thing I'm a little bit not concerned about, but I felt we misused Pogba a little bit yesterday on Sunday, and I feel like when Bruno isn't playing as well, Pogba can step up, but not when you're sort of asking him to play a certain role, and I think that's something we need to get right.
I think he had to do it though in this game.
I get it. I just feel like, it wasn't happening with Bruno. He ended up subbing him. I know it was only the 90th minute.
How angry was he when he got subbed?
I think he was more angry as well at the situation that had just been going on before. Because he was kicking off. Yeah. And then
because Thiago didn't get booked for that foul.
Thiago didn't get booked, and then I think it was Wijnaldum accused him of time wasting. Yeah. And he was going mad about that, and then he sees his number up.
We saw 2 proper straps yesterday.
Yeah.
Bruno going off. And Cavani, where Rashford never passed.
Yeah.
And the best thing about Cavani, when Rashford didn't pass, was he doesn't shout at Rashford. he looks to the bench and shouts at Solskjaer. So it's like, you know, you shouting off your brother. You're like, Mum, I told you about this idiot all the time.
Do you remember? Was it the Wolves game where Rashford scored in the last minute? Last kick of the game.
Yeah.
And Cavani was like, stood waiting, and he's almost got to start shouting like,
you keep going setting yourself for the pass, and the pass ain't coming.
Yeah, but he was like he was going to go berserk.
Do you think Rashford's being too greedy?
I don't know. I mean,
is it affecting his game?
I get where you're coming from, but like, you know, we go back to the Burnley game. You know, he got an assist there. I thought he was a very good passer. He picked out Paul Pogba. He has got assists this season. I know his record. I think he's got 7-8 assists. So it's not like he's a greedy player. I think there are times where he can play his... But I think the trouble with Rashford is, and I think the Cavani is a good example of it yesterday, he waited too long. The pass was on, but as soon as that sort of second went, Fabinho got in between them, and then there was a point where Cavani was almost up. I think he was offside.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play it then. He had to be quicker with it. And I think that's the trouble with Rashford is, he keeps hold of it that split second longer where he limits his options. And I think had he been straight away playing him in, then it would have worked.
And
but once he took that extra touch, the pass wasn't on.
I wonder if there's part of him as well that thinks, well, I've got a decent chance to make. I think I can create a chance for myself here, and otherwise I'm passing it to whether it's Cavani or Martial, a striker that's got 4 goals this season. Maybe thinks I'm just as likely to score
like
here.
that.
Well, you say that, but
you can't think like that.
But
I don't think he thinks like that.
I don't think he does.
I don't think
do you
he's
not
thinking
think
like
it
that.
crosses his mind that
Nah.
I've got a better chance of scoring this than he has?
Because
he should be thinking that's a red shirt, not who's in it.
He doesn't. No, I'm convinced that Rashford does not think. Like
I would be very surprised if he's thinking Tony Marshall's not scoring. I'm not giving it him. I know where you're coming from.
because Marshall's a better finisher than him.
I would.
Cavani's a better finisher.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would work like
He hasn't
that.
been a better finisher than him this season.
Huh? No, but in general, he is. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think Rashford.
But regardless,
I'm not saying
But
that.
I think what he does is he's very because he's quick, he's strong, he's got skill, and he's got the ability to beat someone and shoot. He wants to do that a lot.
Yeah.
So once he gets it in his mind's made up.
To be
He's
fair
not
to
gonna
him,
change his
to
mind.
be fair to him, in the Wolves game, which wasn't that long ago, it worked. You know, when he goes through the end,
We worked against PSG.
yo,
as well.
mate, you can't knock him for scoring
No,
a
I'm
winner
not,
in the last
I'm not
minute.
knocking him, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, all right.
The same
but
thing happened against
it
PSG
works.
where he
Yeah.
shouldn't really have taken that shot. It got deflected, went in.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know what I mean?
He does tend to do that.
So
I
I
don't think
can-
he thinks I'm not passing it to him. He's been shit this
No,
season.
no.
But I just think he's quite single-minded anyway when he's on the ball
Yeah.
on those breaks. I think he thinks I've got the best chance of scoring here,
Yeah.
and I just think that's what he thinks. Because like the Cavani one, he should have passed that.
To be fair, I mean, I know it's
And
different
there was
because
the Greenwood one, the one against Leipzig as well, wasn't it? Where they both did it to each other, where they were running through two of them.
Greenwood does
He
it
didn't pass
all the time. Like Greenwood,
Yeah.
that is his MO in it. It's just get it off to my left, buy myself a half an inch, and get me shot.
It's
off.
a good trait. And
He's-
a bad
he's,
trait.
you
Rooney
know-
used to have it. I remember Rooney's early years. There'd be times where he wouldn't square it, and Rude would bollock him, and he'd be like, "Bro, what are you?" And I think you've got to get that balance right. Now, I think Rashford hasn't quite got it yet, but at the same time, when you're delivering with goals and assists, it's like what we say with Bruno. You kind of have to half accept it. But the thing for me is, especially at 0-0, your decision making at 2-0 or 1-0, I think your decision making is allowed to be a little bit, more relaxed. And I just think you've got to, and that's one of the things that I rate about Marshall. At the moment, he could be snatching for opportunities to score goals, but he'll always go for the better pass if there's a better
Do you know
pass.
what,
that a
Maka?
good
I
thing,
think
though,
he
at
needs to
some
be
point?
greedier.
Yeah, with penalties he
do.
needs to be.
I don't even that. I think sometimes, especially when he's in and around the box, he's still looking for that pass. And you just said it there. He's a great finisher, and I agree. I know he's not on form this season. I think he's a good finisher, but he needs to be a bit more selfish and be thinking, I've got an opportunity here. Get my shot off.
It's no good being a good finisher.
Oh, he's there. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
Go for the shot, man, because he
No
can
good
score.
being a good finisher who gets 8 goals in a
No,
season.
and he
You're
should be
better off
getting
being
more.
a shit finisher who gets 15 because you shoot twice as often.
Yeah.
Like he's got a great conversion rate. We all know he's a good finisher. But if you're not shooting, you're not scoring, and that's your job. So at some point he has to get that greediness where he's like, I'm not passing to you because I'm going to score this, and then he has to deliver.
Because some of the things that Marshall, I mean, he went past Trenton in the first half, and you think yes, and then it's just like I want to see that at the other end, like right in their box, because he can do it. He can get himself in half a yards and just start getting your shot off more often.
I was surprised he came off yesterday
I think his record though,
because I thought out of the front three, he was the better of the three.
I get where you're coming from, but I think you look at it and you think Marcus is more likely to get your goal this season. He
Yeah,
just
this
is.
season.
He is.
I think stats
yeah, I mean,
speak for itself.
yeah,
The same.
and Bruno, and I think that out of the three of them, you probably look at it going, if anyone's not going to score out of them three, it's probably going to be Tony Emmett in a minute. And this is something that he needs to look at because he's still Ollie's man. He is.
Big thing for him is the fixtures we've got coming up now is a big chance for you to get some sort of run.
Yeah.
So that should happen. Obviously, moving on from the Liverpool game, which in the grand scheme of things, we're disappointed, but not overly disappointed.
No, I'm not. Like I say, I'm not going to be having a parade over 0-0. But if you'd have said to me a month ago or 3 months ago after the Spurs game or whatever, come January the 20th or whatever it is, you'll be above Liverpool in the table and top of the league. I took it. So can't be too downhearted.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're favourites for the title, but we are much closer than I think anyone thought we'd be at the start of the season. Like, you've got to be happy with that. We have to enjoy this.
You think Ollie didn't get it wrong yesterday, right?
No, I think he got his tactics right.
You've barely seen anyone mention Lindelof, or
We
maybe
all
you've
wanted
seen a few
Bailly.
people. Of course, and myself included, I would have picked Bailly. But you look on social media, it's either people not mentioning him who usually slag him off, or it's people going, you know what, you've got to give Ollie a bit of credit here, because I thought Lindelof was excellent. Lots of good clearances, a couple in balls in the box that he's like sliding for, good headed ability, and tracked Mane out wide multiple times, didn't put a foot wrong. And it's given by a rest of someone who's not played hardly in about 2 years. So that couldn't have worked out any better for me. The main choice he made in terms of personnel, at least, I thought worked an absolute treat.
100% agree with that.
Fulham, Sheffield United next, 6 points.
That's where I think I agree with what you're saying. I wouldn't mind seeing Marcus Rashford rested for one of them. I think he looks
Donny
good.
as well.
Donny-
Sorry, not Donny. Bruno.
I think rest Rashford for one, rest Bruno for one. I don't think we can have them both missing, because
that's a fair point.
No offence to Martial or Cavani or Greenwood or whoever. There's about 9 goals in the team if you take them 2 out.
Yeah.
So
But we should be able to do that. You say for the sake of argument, you rest Rashford for Fulham, and you rest Bruno for Sheffield United.
Yeah.
We still have enough quality
Still
to beat
on the
those
bench
teams
as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
If you need them, they're there.
To be honest with you, part of me is just thinking. No,
Yeah. But then if you lose, you look like an idiot, don't you? If you're Ollie.
But if you're going to rest him, you may as well give him a night off, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just feel like if we have got any form of title aspirations, we should be able to beat those two teams.
Yeah, it has to be 6 points out of 6.
without relying on Marcus and Bruno.
Has to be. Yeah, so that's a little breakdown of what we saw, what we thought yesterday. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Steve did a chat with Rio after the game, which is up on Stretford Paddock. Go and check that out. We also had the watch along, which got loads of views yesterday. Go and check that out as well if you want to hear Andy Tate screaming and all that stuff. Glad I weren't sat next to him moaning yesterday.
He made you laugh. He went to me and Joe. He went, "You two, you're dead nervous." I'm not nervous, mate. And then we'd go in berserk when we gave a throwaway and throwing
he was
away.
going mad about us not attacking and stuff, wasn't he?
And you're like, all right, mate. Yeah.
God love Andy Tate.
Yeah, you got it.
Make sure you go check that out. His fan cam's up there as well. Premier League piss takes out. See you in a bit.